Sometimes the smallest gestures can be the most refreshing.
Kid twice, bench Carter 3 times, and to put that number 19 in perspective for KD, the NBA season, 6 months long, so Kevin has won the Player of the Month award for the equivalent of 3 full seasons. Wow.
Michael, I did not know that.
I'm speechless. Again, I feel like I'm going to be speechless at multiple points of this night, but you nailed it. You put it in perspective. I mean, that's wild. That is absolutely wild, those numbers. And when you see it stacked up against two of the other greats who have worn Nets jerseys.
How about the D there from Durant, coming up with the rejection. Dinwiddie looking to separate, can't bank it in, but did get the foul as it looked like he might have pushed off Neto. But Dinwiddie got the whistle and is going to shoot a pair. It's a little cold in here.
You don't have the fans keeping everyone warm with all the body heat.
You know what? Kevin's not alone. I noticed that Michael Grady just put his winter coat on, right? And
you did. Why are you going to call G out like that?
You know, I know there's no more ice here, but...
Well, and we don't have Richard to talk about turtletnecks. So, G, if you want to start busting out your turtlenecks, I can't even say it.
Friday.
Here we go.
It feels a little like an Islanders game in here. Durant has been hot shooting, 3 of 5. Irving, 6 of 7. The Nets as a team, 65% from the floor, and a 20-point lead in the first half of this very anticipated preseason game.
Sometimes good shooting can be contagious, and you feel the energy in the ball. You see how it's popping around.
Good deflection by Irving, and quickly to go pick up Reggie Perry, the rookie. Now, you mentioned it before, Sarah, but talking to different members of this Nets team and people around the organization, they have really been thrilled with Reggie Perry and what he has shown during camp thus far. And Durant comes up with another rejection, and the shot clock violation is going to eliminate the fast break. But I've had multiple people say, you know, Reggie Perry has looked good enough that you could see him playing a role on the floor this season for this group. That's how good he has looked. Obviously, it's going to be a tough rotation to crack, but that's just how strong the impression has been from this rookie who was picked 57th overall.
Well, I'll say 2 things. One, if you ask DeAndre Jordan about him, he will say Rook. He won't let you call him Reggie.
So are you telling me I should call him Rook?
I don't know. I don't know. But
that might be a taboo term right now with all these chess pieces.
Okay, let's keep it moving. But what he did say, and you see some of this, he said just the fearlessness, the force, the strength.
How about the night from the wing, Kyrie Irving? 17 points. He is 7 of 8 from the floor. He has absolutely been dialed in this first half. Hachimura gets the space underneath and flushes it down.
Excellent footwork by Hachimura.
Oh, Irving, the down-court feed to Durant. Beautiful brotherly connection, Durant and Irving. That was something that stood out last night, Sarah, watching them on Instagram Live together, just how close these two are, and they constantly talk about each other as brothers, but there is such a bond between them, and the Nets offense right now is flowing. Taurean Prince, 2 of 2 from deep, and the Nets have put up 61 in this first half.
Look at that screen. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving make a decision, smooth like butter, and then look at this. I see you, man. Gets it up the floor, quick finish. The connectivity is happening early.
These little cups would make great stocking stuffers. But how about right now in your mouth stuffers? Happy holidays to your mouth. Not sorry. Reese's.
I work at Burger King because I'm a Whopper. They are 2 for $5.
Share the joy this holiday with the Whopper and the 2 for $5 deal. Your way better.
Dear Best Buy, me and Piggy have been saving up for a long time to get my girlfriend the right laptop. Got any deals?
Sure do. We've got sweet deals on tech every day. I'd get her a Chromebook. Fast, easy to set up, it's a great laptop and an even better Best Buy price.
These folks, they don't have time to go to the post office. They have businesses to grow, customers to care for, lives to get home to. They use Stamps.com. Print discounted postage for any letter, any package, anytime, right from your computer. All the amazing services of the post office, only cheaper. Get our special TV offer, a 4-week trial plus postage and a digital scale. Go to Stamps.com/try and never go to the post office again.
At U-Haul, we know moving can be stressful.
Hey guys, can you all help us move?
It's tough to find the right help for the job.
I'm busy that weekend. Sorry, man.
I didn't tell you what weekend.
That's why we created MovingHelp.com. MovingHelp.com is an online marketplace for booking reliable, affordable muscle for your move.
Thank you.
Find the right team for the right time at a locked-in price. Safe, convenient, reliable. Moving Help, powered by U-Haul. Your move made easier.
I like to say rule number 2, never be number 1. Or is it rule number 1, never be number 2? Either way, what I'm trying to say, John Wall switched his number. He used to wear number 2. He's wearing number 1. He balled out Friday night, and he's going to ball out tonight against the Houston Rockets. 13-5 in 19 minutes. You can check that at 8 p.m. on League Pass. And Tuesday night, the Sixers, Celtics renew their rivalry in the preseason. See the processing company taking on Jason Tatum, and that brand new contract he signed was fat. And Steph Curry with the shot boy taking on the Kings. That is the second game. Now we'll go back to Brooklyn.
Some of that experience, and that's what players like Jeff Green come in and provide. And you see that out of a variety of different roles. But I think that matters to some extent to have that type of balance.
Harris, Jordan back in. Luwawu-Cabarrot getting his first minutes. As Hachimura couldn't finish. Irving and Durant remain on the floor for Brooklyn. Irving bowls it over to TLC. Can't hit the 3. TLC played so well in the bubble for the Nets. As Bryant sticks the landing on a straight-on 3. Timothé Luwawu-Cabarrot averaged just under 15 points on over 50% shooting and 45% from 3 in the Nets' action in those 8 seeding games in the bubble, as Durant takes a spill and is going to get called for an offensive foul.
Well, and I think pointing to a player like Luwawu-Cabarrot, as we see legs get tangled up right there as he's turning and relocating after the handoff. But, you know, how do players adapt to different roles or different amount of minutes? And TLC was excellent in the bubble. I mean, he was around 17 points per game during the playoffs against Toronto. But if you're getting smaller minutes, if you're not catching that same type of rhythm, getting the same amount of looks, can you still produce at a rate that is somewhat similar for the time you're on the floor, for playing different roles, knocking down open shots even though you're not getting as many looks? And I think that's going to be a lot of the figuring out for this team as we talk about players just sacrificing or learning their positions or not having the same continuity necessarily of playing time game to game. Can you still perform when you are called upon?
More good D from Kevin Durant there as he took the charge. Irving couldn't get that one to drop, but did get the whistle. And Kyrie Irving is going to shoot 2. Now Irving, as many of you know, has been the subject of much attention lately for his refusal to speak with the media. Initially released a statement and then decided to double down on his not speaking with the media, as he posted on Instagram Live where he referred, it seemed, to the media as pawns, saying, "I don't talk to pawns." He did talk at length last night on his Instagram Live, held a session where he ended up having Karis LeVert and Kevin Durant on. There's no clarity as to how long this will last or when Kyrie Irving may speak to the media, but that has obviously been a big storyline early on in this training camp.
Yeah, it's speaking to the media is collectively bargained. So both he and the Nets organization were each fined $25,000 by the league. So it is. It's going to be a feel-out process, how he handles it. Sitting with Kai was, I think, the name of last night. But I'm curious. I have not counted one post-up yet by Kyrie. Have you seen a post-up? So right. I'm not sure if him and Kevin renegotiated that prior to this game.
Yes.
That's what I'm keeping an eye on.
Kyrie Irving was saying he felt he should have about 4 post-ups a half. And then he said he would settle for 7 a game. And Kevin Durant said, I think it's going to be more like 2, 2.5.
And he said the half is where I throw it back. I throw it into the post and you kick it back out.
Throw it right back out to Durant. Neto, nice little pedal through traffic, sets up Bryant on a 3, and Thomas Bryant, now in his 4th year, in the 2nd year of a 3-year, $25 million deal, a player who Scott Brooks really admires. Durant got bumped, did not get a whistle, and here comes Bryant, taking it up the floor with haste. Kept that left foot down.
You can see why Scott Brooks likes him. Shot 40% from 3 last year.
Here's the rookie Avdia feeding Bonga in the corner, off on a 3, long board. 20-year-old Avdia going to work on Harris. Finds Hachimura in the corner, rejected by Irving. And it's going to stay here with Washington with 1.6 on the shot clock. Bryant gets it off, can't line drive it in, and Brooklyn controls. TLC thought about it and lost the handle. Neto trying to get it over. Irving could not, but the follow would have gone had there not been a foul on Kyrie Irving, and free throws coming for Raul Neto. You know, we've seen quite a few blocks in his first half and just generally good defense from Brooklyn against obviously an understaffed Washington team here in a preseason game. But you mentioned it before, Sarah. Defense has been the focus from Steve Nash. He knows he has incredible talent on the offensive end. He knows it's a shortened training camp in preseason, and the Nets have been spending a lot of their detailed time on the defensive end with a championship in mind, and knowing that is ultimately going to be where they have to get things done if they want to win a title.
Well, yeah, and I think for a variety of reasons, and Steve Nash has talked about the way they're implementing their principles and things that we'll continue to watch to learn what exactly that means. But I think, too, when you have the luxury of having players play multiple positions is communication.
Durant sticks the jumper. 15 points in this first half for Kevin Durant. 18 for Kyrie Irving.
So when you're looking for a team to coalesce, part of that is just the communication on this end, especially if you are showing different looks, playing guys in different positions, switching a lot, whatever it may be, to make sure you're all on the same page every possession.
Hachimura fading away. Can't hit the jumper. Bonga keeps it alive. How about Avdia? The rookie buries the 3. Danny Avdia, 2 of 2 now from downtown. Harris straight on 3, short, follows it up, and puts it in. Joe Harris, in the first year of his brand new 4-year, $72 million contract, said he's taken some ribbing from his teammates, blew a dunk in practice, and DeAndre Jordan said, "That money holding you down, Joe?" Neto is fouled by Jordan.
That's had a long run of some laughs. I feel like we've been talking about that.
You need some new content now on the money?
I'm saying it's as funny as every time as I hear it, because I'm imagining him say it. But that's part of it. And for this group, you know, it has not been everyone. I don't believe Joe was a part of it, but they've even talked about the fact that playing in LA this summer or getting together throughout the course of the last couple months, trying to safely find ways to be together, I think that's been important to trying to build their chemistry.
Hey, coming up at the half, Kevin Durant one-on-one, a first-half breakdown, and Michael Grady's coaches report. We have some unreleased footage from Mike O'Grady's sit-down with Kevin Durant one-on-one, so make sure you stay tuned at halftime for that.
You're throwing a lot of new stuff at me. Did you and our great producer Frank DeGrace and Dan Barr, director, and Grady have a production meeting without me?
We've been coordinating for days. That's right. How about our new score bar too? You like that?
I do.
A stripe, lot going on. Irving doesn't get the roll. Avdia quickly up the floor, 1 second left, gets it off in time and puts it in. Nice finish to the half from the rookie, Denny Avdia. That will count. 8 points on 3 of 3 shooting for Avdia. Irving and Durant combined for 33 first-half points. Nets lead 6.
There you see KD and Kyrie combining for 33. Right now, the Wizards trailing the Brooklyn Nets down by a sizable margin. When we come back after the break, you're going to hear from yours truly. And you know who's going to join me, the one and only Greg Anthony, to break everything down. You see it on the screen right there. Come back. Don't go anywhere. Why would you leave?
Jeep is more than a legendary SUV brand. It's a community. We share a love of adventure. We share a spirit. And now we're sharing our employee price with you. Treating you like one of our own. Because that's exactly what you are. Employee pricing at the Jeep Big Finish event.
With employee pricing for all, get an average $4,644 below MSRP, plus $1,000 bonus cash on the 2021 Grand Cherokee Limited.
You're not going to drive without insurance, are you? That's like going to a nightclub with roller skates.
I gotta go to the General.
Thinking of driving without insurance? Don't delay because you've missed a few payments. From your home.
Or on your phone.
The General has affordable rates even with less than perfect credit.
You know, with moves like that, you should be rolling with the General.
For a great low rate you can get online, go to the General and save some time.
At Domino's, you can carry out 3 topping pizzas for just $7.99 each. And with Domino's Carside Delivery, you can conveniently stay in your car while you do it. Check in online, and we'll quickly bring your food to you.
Thank you.
So you don't have to get out to get carry out. Like Denny here.
Hey, Hamlin. I like your PJs.
PJs? Huh? Stay in the driver's seat with Domino's Carside Delivery.
After 225 years of Jim Beam, you'd think we'd just look back on our past. Nope. We're looking to our future, where we're crafting new bourbons, creating new ways to drink them, and teaching a new generation of distillers. So no, we're not raising a glass to the last 225 years. We're raising Jim Beam for 225 years to come.
Sports fans are gearing up at NBAstore.com, the official store of the NBA. And the largest assortment of NBA fan gear anywhere, with unique, one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics and authentic fan gear, the latest styles for every NBA team and all the players you love. Don't wait, shop now and get today's special offer. NBAstore.com, a Fanatics experience.
Yes, indeed. KD is back after 552 days since he last stepped on the court. He's right back at home in Brooklyn right now. KD with 15, shooting 5 for 8. The Nets in control. And welcome to the halftime show. Ro Parrish along with Greg Anthony. GA, it looks like these two have been playing together for years. The chemistry is clearly evident between Kyrie and KD so far.
Listen, first and foremost, whenever you like your teammates, you tend to play better together. And secondly, and more importantly, you know, sometimes we forget both of these guys have been vital members of championship teams, and both of them know what it's like to play with a great player. And so it makes the game easier. You know, we heard these conversations when Chris Paul went to Houston, when Durant went to Golden State, you know, when LeBron came back to Cleveland. Like, great players want to play with great players, you know, because, again, it makes the game easier. Your team functions better. Neither guy's a volume shooter. Both guys are efficient, effective, and they put tremendous pressure on your defense, and it was fun to watch. Granted, the Wizards not looking like an NBA team for the most part when you take away an all-star caliber backcourt. It does put a lot of pressure on the others, as Shaq would say, but very impressed with how KD and Kyrie not only looked, but how they looked and played together.
No Bradley Beal, no Russell Westbrook for the Washington Wizards, amongst others. Now, you talked about KD and Kyrie playing well with others. Both played in multiple All-Star games. Both played with Team USA, so they do know how to work with other great players. But one thing you talked about in the pregame was defensively, defensive concepts, closing out. Looking at KD, he has 2 blocks. We've seen Kyrie contesting shots. He has a block as well. Your thoughts on them on the defensive side?
And, Ro, I'm glad you brought that up because KD showed you that he could buy in. People forget KD had a terrific stretch defensively when he was with the Warriors because they made him accountable. And that's where his game grew. And I applaud him because he went there to grow, not only just to win championships, but to grow as a player. And what you saw tonight, I thought you're going to see, I think, in Kyrie, a guy that's willing to take that next step. And I think that's where the relationship between he and Durant will, I think, benefit the team because I think Durant can push Kyrie to compete more defensively. I think that's an area where he has more to give. You know, when you have a high IQ for the game, that alone can help you defensively. Doesn't mean you got to be a lockdown defender, but it means you got to be good in terms of positioning out on the floor. And I think you're going to see more of that, especially when it gets important and down the stretches of game from Kyrie.
Indeed, yes, we will see it. Let's take it to the Twitter for a second, see what we got popping on social media. The rest of the East watching KD and Kyrie. Chuckles, I'm in danger. I don't know. hey, the way they looking right now, I don't know. GA, it might be a problem.
Uh-oh.
If you thought you saw the last of double cheeseburger pizza, think again, because it's back at Papa John's again with a large double cheeseburger pizza for just $12. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Humira patients, this one's for you. You inspired us to make your Humira experience even better with Humira Citrate Free. It has the same effectiveness you know and trust, but we remove the citrate buffers. There's less liquid and a thinner needle with less pain immediately following injection. Ask your doctor about Humira Citrate Free, and you can use your copay card to pay as little as $5 a month.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Ask your doctor about Humira Citrate Free, the same Humira you trust with less pain immediately following injection.
If you can't afford your medicine, AbbVie may be able to help.
Right now, you can get a free breakfast Baconator with any order in the Wendy's app, so you can shake up and wake up your breakfast. We're bringing that big bacon energy all day long, so you can always be baconating with a free breakfast Baconator.
We need to get going. Where is he with the presents?
It's the same every year. He always leaves it to the last minute. Oh, ho, ho!
About time.
Red Bull!
And us?
Yes, Santa! What about us?
Oh, you should be happy. From now on, you get Christmas off. Red Bull gives me wings.
Pop! Oh, baby!
The enjoyment that we had going into each and every arena, talking to their fans and letting them know that we was in charge.
They call him the Glove.
He is crazy!
So there it is, Orlando trailing Atlanta under 1 minute remaining. Cole Anthony was 16, shooting 6 for 10. And they're taking on the Hawks for the second time in 3 days. Trae Young leading the way for ATL, 21 points. McDonald's with 18. Brooklyn keeps on taking it. Brooklyn keeps on taking it. KD finds DJ. Go DJ. That's my DJ. More of this game when we return.
Are you ready to sink your teeth into a lemon pepper, sweet and spicy Korean cute-tastic, mango habanero
masterclass in all things wings?
Yes, I am.
Are you though?
Get Wingstop's new all-in bundle delivered for a limited time.
One shake and cats come running. So be careful what you shake. Temptations cat treats. All it takes is a shake.
Christmas trees try so hard. Lights and ornaments and little choo-choo trains, come on. The best trees, they kind of only need two things. Peanut butter and chocolate. Not sorry. Reese's.
At Finger Hut, we don't define you by your credit score. We celebrate you being you. So we offer low monthly payments on the stuff you need. Things you love, kitchen essentials, clothes, toys, and more. You'll find it all at Finger Hut. You do you, and we'll help build your credit at fingerhut.com.
Finger Hut credit accounts are issued by WebBank, member FDIC.
At touchofmodern.com, we get that the things you surround yourself with reflect who you are. Your style, your drive, your passions. Venture through a curated collection of astonishing items at touchofmodern.com, because sometimes things aren't just things, they're you. Go to touchofmodern.com and discover the world's most unexpected items.
That's right, baby. Hoops is back like it never left. Yo, really the real in the Zion era. The Pelicans taking on the Miami Heat. Then right after that, the Phoenix Suns. Chris Paul. You know all those guys out there ready to ball. Against the Utah Jazz, that's 9 p.m. Eastern. Of course, game time is right after those two games. And then Tuesday it's on and popping once again. The Process taking on Jason Tatum and the Celtics. That's the Sixers. And the Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry and company back on the court taking on the Sacramento Kings. Definitely don't want to miss that. I'm going to be locked in. You should too. Now we're going to go back to Brooklyn. Seems like things are very well in control. KD and company putting up numbers, shooting 63% in the first half. We'll send you back out to Brooklyn. Sarah Kustok, Ryan Rucco.
To your opponent is you got to make decisions, and they have so many threats in every area of the floor.
Nets start the second half without Irving on the floor. He played 17 minutes in the first half. Dinwiddie, Harris, Jordan, TLC, and Durant. The 5 for Brooklyn to start the third quarter. Durant off on a 3. And the rebound to Brown for Washington. Wizards without Bradley Beal, without Russell Westbrook in this game, both getting some rest as they gear up for the season. Washington will play 3 preseason games. The Nets playing just 2.
It's important to remember that, too, as you're trying to evaluate, as you're trying to gauge, not only without those 2 key parts, but also without Davis Bertans, without Ish Smith, without Jerome Robinson. So that matters. I think if you're Scott Brooks, though, you like what you've seen, especially out of some of your young players. Take a look at.
Do you like what you've seen out of Russell Westbrook's outfit?
I love that hat with the smiley face, since you can't see the smile under the mask. I don't know if he's smiling under the mask, but
the hat would indicate he is.
It's a staple. I may need to get one of those. But I was going to say, when it comes to Denny Avdia, who, I think he's someone I've been curious to watch more and see more of. I know he's only taken 3 shots, right? 3 of 3. It hasn't been super aggressive looking for a shot, but you could see where the efficiency comes from. You see where his size and his skill set has people optimistic about how it may translate here to the league and what he has a potential to become.
Yeah, many people thought he could have been a top 5 pick, and Washington felt very fortunate to get him at 9. Nice setup there from Neto to Bryant for the finish. Sarah mentioned it earlier, talking with Scott Brooks today. He said Neto was one of the big-time standouts thus far in camp. He's been absolutely great for them. Durant looking for space, finding it, can't hit. And the rebound, Neto. Durant with 15 points thus far in his first game in 552 days as Brooklyn is called for the foul. And we check in with Michael Grady.
Right, I spoke with next assistant coach Jordan Knight at halftime. He told me that what the coaching staff was most pleased with so far was the first quarter defense. Only gave up 20 points to the Wizards. He says there was a bit of slippage afterwards, but in the second half they wanted the team to continue to build good habits. I asked him about how well KD and Kyrie looked, and he said, yeah, they're pretty good, Grady. He added, the special thing about those guys, he told me, was that they don't show up to games and turn it on. They compete and play at this level, at a high level, every single day. And when your superstars have that approach, it elevates the play of the team. That's right.
Yeah. These guys, they love basketball, and this group has very much enjoyed getting after it practice after practice thus far in preparation for this season. Meanwhile, Washington on a 9-0 run here has made it a single-digit game. Kyrie Irving did not start this third quarter after he had a terrific first half with 18 points, 4 assists on 7 of 9 shooting. Avdia lines up the 3 and hits a 12-0 Washington run. And Steve Nash will take a timeout. Benny Avdia, 3 of 3 from downtown.
Jeep is more than a legendary SUV brand. It's a community. We share a love of adventure. We share a spirit. And now we're sharing our employee price with you. Treating you like one of our own. Because that's exactly what you are. Employee pricing at the Jeep Big Finish event.
With employee pricing for all, get an average $5,056 below MSRP on the 2021 Jeep Gladiator.
The only way you beat 6-month aged cheddar toasted on the shell of a chalupa is to put it in this box. The $5 toasted cheddar chalupa box is back for a limited time, only at Taco Bell.
Dear Best Buy, me and Piggy have been saving up for a long time to get my girlfriend the right laptop. Got any deals?
Sure do. We've got sweet deals on tech every day. I'd get her a Chromebook. Fast, easy to set up, it's a great laptop and an even better Best Buy price.
Brooklyn at, and we want you to say hello to Trinity from Utica, New York, in a hat that her grandpa Don bought her. Grandpa Don. Oh, the catch. This picture was on Where Brooklyn At in 2016. Fast forward, here is Trinity again, but this time with little brother Derek wearing the same hat. They're pictured here with Aunt Paris Ann, grandmother Anna, and their mother Trina Marie. They all became fans when the team moved to Brooklyn, and Grandpa Don watches every game. Big thank you to Trinity and Derek. If you have a picture and a story for Where Brooklyn At, submit your photos on Twitter or Instagram by tagging @NetsOnYes using the hashtag WhereBrooklynAt, or email Nets at YesNetwork.com.
Adorable. Absolutely precious.
Foul called against Bryant. A 12-0 run from Washington to start the third quarter. 4 of 4 from the floor. And the Nets 0 of 4. Kyrie 4 assists in the first half. Durant tried to force it inside to Jordan. Harris catches the hot potato and finishes with the left hand.
Good follow, Joe Harris, just being aware and staying with the play. There's been some misconnections with DeAndre Jordan, lobbing the ball on the side, some of the drop-offs, getting the passes in the right points from a variety of his teammates here early on.
Hachimura, the second-year man, leans in and got the whistle on Durant, plus the bucket.
And this goes back to things for Scott Brooks and this Wizards group to start to be optimistic about. Hachimura, he's come out, he's been aggressive, he's been knocking down shots. Thomas Bryant, who you've spoken about, he's also been really active. I think a big part of it, too, for Washington. Obviously, you're getting players back that can score and that could fill it up, but they were last in the league in defense last year. And that was a major part where they put up a ton of points, absolutely. Were they getting up and down the floor? But it was the defensive end, and we've seen so far, especially coming out of this half, an aggressiveness on the ball and really trying to swallow up the middle of the floor.
Foul called on Hachimura there, trying to hang with Durant. Meanwhile, Washington already in the bonus. See Hachimura trying to push Durant down. Clearly a foul.
He's kind of bodying into him as well.
Durant can't hit the three. Had a good look there. That's the fourth foul on Hachimura, by the way. Durant now 5 of 12 from the floor, 0 of 2 from 3. Brown misfires. Nice box out from Harris. And here comes Durant. Durant on the attack. Nice setup for TLC. KD, the orchestrator.
All eyes were on Kevin Durant. He gets it in the middle of the floor. Of course, you're concerned about what he's going to do with it there. And no one was keeping tabs on TLC there, lurking around the baseline.
Hachimura's line drive won't go. Jordan secures it. Dinwiddie, ooh, nice grab from TLC. Squirts it out to Durant. Shooting practice in the corner, and TLC connects.
And what we continue to see, and we saw this in the first half, just those extra passes and finding his teammates, and I think that's why it's so important. And we've seen it out of a multitude of players. Keep moving, making sure you're finding that wake and you're finding the angles for them to deliver the passes to you, whether it's Durant, whether it's Kyrie. We saw it. We're going to see the same things with Dinwiddie, with a LeVert. But find open areas on the floor, not only to keep it balanced, but you're going to get clean looks.
Dinwiddie lobs it up, and Jordan. Did Jordan touch it or just go in, Sarah?
I thought Jordan touched it.
He did. Jordan did touch it. Brown got free for the slam. It looked like one of those alleys that almost didn't need a nuke, didn't it?
It did. It did. I don't know if that was the intention or not.
Harris step back jumper rims out. 77-70 Brooklyn lead. Third quarter action. First preseason game for what should be a really fun season of Nets on Yes. Bryant's nice work there. Bryant extending over Jordan. He's in double figures now.
He's knocking down three-point shots. We know he can run the floor, and he's shown an ability to handle the ball, handle it in traffic. He's been active in trying to move his feet here on the defensive end. Be very mobile. He's looked good so far.
2 to shoot. TLC's going to have to get it off. He does not, and neither did Harris. Yes, it's a shot clock violation against Brooklyn.
All right, so let's look at the play you're talking about. Dinwiddie. Oh, yeah. Sure. Oh, that was a pinpoint perfect pass. And take a look. Everyone's focused on Kevin Durant. TLC along the baseline. I need some practice, a little rust on my telestrating skills here at this point of the season.
Did you get any lines out there or no?
I got a circle of it. We also, I'm so grateful, we got a new telestrator last season, the beginning of last season.
Yeah.
So like 100 years ago. And I don't know if you're going to laugh at that.
Yeah.
But there are circles, there's lines, there's arrows, there's different things. So we'll get back to that. And more importantly, get back to this play.
Well, Thomas Bryant was very upset about that call, but that's a foul.
Yeah.
And for Bryant, it's number 4.
And that may have added to the emotions toward it. So he's getting a lot of opportunity to show what he can do. And again, defense and what he can do defensively is always something that this Washington staff has tried to ask more out of him. And he's putting in the effort here so far tonight.
Jared Allen back into the game for Brooklyn as Durant checks out. 24 minutes for Kevin Durant. It is first action in 18 months. And Durant with 15 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 blocks. In the corner, that 3 is short from Winston. Another chance here for Washington. Hachimura left alone on the wing, buries the 3. Hachimura now with 18 points. He's 3 of 4 from deep.
And that's some excellent ball movement by the Wizards, finding the open man, continuing to shift the defense, especially coming up with an extra possession.
Nets did lead by 26 in the first half. Now a 4-point game midway through this third quarter.
And while wins and losses don't matter in the preseason, one for Steve Nash, and he spoke about this earlier, just if any time you step in the court, you're a competitor, you compete. Do you want to win? Yeah, but more of what they're striving for in the areas and the gaps they're looking to fill. This, I think, will give them a good canvas, a good template of some of those things, just getting it in game action, but you want to sustain it throughout the course of the entire game.
Allen didn't have enough on it, and Lopez secures it for Washington. We mentioned it before, but worth mentioning again, Caris LeVert not playing in this game for Brooklyn, has a bruise on his patella. Not thought to be serious, but no action tonight for Caris LeVert, who we saw take such incredible strides last season, especially his play in the bubble. It was just terrific. And Steve Nash was asked about whether or not LeVert would be in the starting lineup once he is back healthy, and he said, you know, it hasn't been determined yet, but I could see him also taking on the Manu Ginobili role, where he clearly is a starter, but he's going to impact the game more when he has the ball in his hands and can orchestrate the offense with that second unit for a couple different sections of the game. And then maybe be on the floor in those final minutes with the starters as Dinwiddie lays it in after Washington had tied it, erasing a 26-point deficit.
And what a great luxury to have. And that goes back to the depth of the team, the multiple positions, how roles and how combinations in terms of your rotation fit best together, and how you want to utilize players. And it's the understanding of sacrifice and doing everything that's best for the team. That doesn't mean you're not going to finish games. It doesn't mean things are set in stone, but just the options to be able to have to what works best for our team is something that I think Steve Nash and his coaching staff will continue to feel out, especially in the early part of this season.
Mike D'Antoni running the offense for his former point guard, Steve Nash. As Jared Allen will shoot 2 with Washington over the limit. Hey, shop the Nets 2021 City Edition collection inspired by Brooklyn-born artist Basquiat. Released earlier this month, this collection has sparked worldwide interest. Visit netstore.com to secure your Nets City Edition merchandise now.
Replay trigger is the shooter, free throw shooter.
So special, and those are G's favorite.
So they're going to check, I believe, whether or not this should be Dinwiddie or Allen shooting these free throws. And the foul is on Bonga. Did he foul Allen or did he foul Dinwiddie? Either way, it would be a shot for the Nets with Washington over the limit.
I mean, it looks like he's getting
confirmed correct free throw shooter, Jared Allen.
Is that
first?
No. Well, it's Allen who is going to shoot free throws. Now, one of the things we'll have this season, and you all know, I mean, there are differences about broadcasts this season, and there are so many COVID-19 protocols, rightfully so, as we try and navigate this global pandemic still. Normally, we're right there courtside, and the officials can just communicate with us directly. We have to be off the floor, understandably so, this season, and so the officials will actually be able to communicate to both us and you, the audience, simultaneously when they go to the table this season. via mic they can access, much like what you saw if you watched games in Orlando in the bubble. Lopez with 3 to shoot, did a dance. That's not legal in basketball. And Washington turns it over. It's Dinwiddie, Green, Prince, Shamet, and Allen, the 5 on the floor for Brooklyn. And that's going to be a foul against Bonga. Again, as Dinwiddie and Allen ran pick and roll. And again, Allen is going to go to the line.
You're going to see a wrap here by Isak Bonga as he's trying to get around Jared Allen. Gets him on both sides. And we saw the way that Allen and Dinwiddie had a great continuity with the pick and roll, and how much Jared Allen, I think we continue to see. There's so many areas we see him improve, some that you can see on a stat sheet, but more than anything, and I think we can credit some as he's been working with Amari Stoudemire. I mean, a variety of so many coaches, and he has throughout the course of the past couple of years, but the timing, the angles, and the understanding with his ball handlers, where he can set things, how it makes it even more challenging for defenders to try and do that, and the ball handler as well, setting things up for Jared Allen. He's done a really nice job of that here so far tonight.
Humira patients, this one's for you. You inspired us to make your Humira experience even better with Humira Citrate Free. It has the same effectiveness you know and trust, but we remove the citrate buffers. There's less liquid and a thinner needle with less pain immediately following injection. Ask your doctor about Humira Citrate Free, and you can use your copay card to pay as little as $5 a month.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Ask your doctor about Humira Citrate Free, the same Humira you trust with less pain immediately following injection.
If you can't afford your medicine, AbbVie may be able to help.
At touchofmodern.com, you'll find products that defy expectations for those who seek the extraordinary. Tents brave the Arctic. Coffee tables chill drinks. Rowers are powered by water. And that's just the beginning. Go to touchofmodern.com and venture through a curated collection of the highest quality in fashion, tech, and home, with new items added every day. touchofmodern.com. Lead the pack. Be the first to discover all the novel and noteworthy products the world has to offer.
At Finger Hut, we don't define you by your credit score. We celebrate you being you. So we offer low monthly payments on the stuff you need, things you love, and brands you trust. As you build your credit history with a Finger Hut credit account. If you're looking for the latest electronics, kitchen essentials, clothes, toys, and more, you'll find it all at Finger Hut. You do you, and we'll help build your credit at fingerhut.com.
Finger Hut credit accounts are issued by WebBank, member FDIC.
Team 107 and D Rose doing D Rose things in Detroit basketball through the lane. Kids, it's so pretty. It's pretty. Pistons in control early. We'll keep you posted on that one. And Monday, we have 2 games for your viewing pleasure right here on this network. Zion and the Pelicans taking on Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. Devin Booker and CP3 going against Donovan Mitchell and the Utah Jazz in the nightcap. Of course, come see us after the game right here on NBA TV. We send it back to Brooklyn. Afros! Yeah!
I mean, you know what's funny, Michael? I have to say, I kind of took for granted. You know, we know Jared Allen as a pro. That shot you just saw, I mean, it really has grown a lot.
And its own area code.
Oh, my goodness. This is a full screen fro. That's 50 inches of fro in some of your basements and living rooms.
It's so beautiful.
My goodness. By the way, Jared is, you hear him talk, and he's just such a likable young man. He really is. Talking about how he used to go home afterwards. People are taking care of their families. He's just playing video games and now realizing, hey, you know, I'm an adult too. I can hang with anybody. How about, Robin's mop has something to it also.
Oh, mop?
Yeah, how about that's a double throw? I mean, what's amazing about Jared Allen, and thinking about how young he is he'd be a rookie now if he had stayed in college, right? Instead, he has all these years and reps of seasoning. And now on a team with championship aspirations in which he is expected to play a big role.
And even you talk about the ways in which he's such a likable, great person. I think that's why his teammates love him. But he's got a competitive nature to him. I mean, think about even during the 4-game playoff series, but in the bubble with Durant averaging close to 15 rebounds per game. Just his ability to be aggressive on the floor, to take ownership, responsibility in certain areas.
Nice down court chuck there from Allen to Prince. Prince, Green, Shamet, Tyler Johnson getting some minutes now, his first of the night. And Allen out there for Brooklyn as Prince couldn't quite get it to Allen, had him set up. Bonga in stride, lays it in.
That's a nice run. That's somewhere where Bonga excels in transition in the open court. And the Wizards have found a bit of a rhythm here. They're getting stops, and they're being aggressive on the defensive end.
Taurean Prince catch fire short from 3. By the way, Kyrie Irving did not start this third quarter, but that's part of the plan, as Michael Grady informed us. The plan for him to sit this second half. So it's 17 first half minutes in which he scored 18 points. Whoa. Allen just able to save that after that was almost the same team turnover. Shamet trying to get free, was able to get some space and is fouled by Lopez. Landry Shamet had a lot of Lopez land on his left arm as he'll shoot 2.
But a nice read by Shamet because he had Merlin Taylor on him, and obviously they're going to be playing him and running him off the three-point line, but utilizes that teammate in the screen to be able to curl, turn the corner. Nice job going to the basket.
A little about Landry Shamet. 6'4", 195, 23 years old. Went to Wichita State, was the 26th overall pick by the Sixers in 2018, and acquired on draft night as part of a 3-team deal. But I think one thing you brought up before, Sarah, is an important piece when it comes to Landry Shamet. This is a guy who not only played a key role on his previous teams, but did so for playoff contenders. As Shamet misses both free throws. Really title contenders. Teams at least that had title aspirations when you think about the Clippers and the Sixers. Nice hands by Tyler Johnson coming up with a steal. Johnson acquitted himself very nicely in the bubble for Brooklyn, and he streaks to the rim for 2.
Nice job by Tyler Johnson being assertive and continuing to push. He knew he can get by Robin Lopez, and a nice job. The ball in his hands, finishing off that play.
That's going to be an offensive foul as Taylor swiped at Taurean Prince. Bang.
Ooh.
Shamet around the double screen, hits the 3. Landry Shamet with his second 3 of the game. He's now in double figures with 10 points.
And what a nice little play there. And a great job by Landry Shamet just turning, being ready to stop the pop.
Bonga, hounded by Shamet. Now it's Allen getting the assignment and fulfilling it with the rejection. It's going to be Brooklyn ball. Taylor stepped out of bounds.
Jared Allen, the timing that he has shown in his ability to protect the rim, moving his feet, staying with the play.
See Allen with 300 blocks in his career. Tonight's, of course, not adding to that total with it being a preseason game. Shot clock turned off. Final seconds of the quarter. Johnson doesn't get the roll, and that'll do it for the third. Brooklyn takes a 6-point lead into the fourth. You're watching Nets on Yes.
The only way you beat 6-month aged cheddar toasted on the shell of a chalupa is to put it in this box. The $5 toasted cheddar chalupa box is back for a limited time, only at Taco Bell.
These little cups would make great stocking stuffers. But how about right now in your mouth stuffers? Happy holidays to your mouth. Not sorry. Reese's.
Oh my Mom, I'm finished. We pray each day. May you come home and be okay. For now we wait for you to come home.
At U-Haul, we know moving can be stressful.
Hey guys, can you all help us move?
It's tough to find the right help for the job.
I'm busy that weekend. Sorry, man. I didn't tell you what weekend.
That's why we created MovingHelp.com. MovingHelp.com is an online marketplace for booking reliable, affordable muscle for your move.
Thank you.
Find the right team for the right time at a locked-in price. Safe, convenient, reliable. Moving Help, powered by U-Haul. Your move made easier.
Each and every day, we're out here getting our hands dirty, loving what we do and where we are, caring for others, and taking pride in a job well done. This isn't just our way of life, it's who we are. And so all 38,000 of us across almost 2,000 communities are proud to share our expertise with you, our neighbors. We live here, we work here, we're a team here, working stronger together. Tractor Supply.
Enjoyment that we had going into each and every arena, talking to their fans and letting them know that we was in charge.
They call him the glove.
He is crazy!
Nothing can stop them. They're all the way up. Hands down the illest alley-oop combination ever, the Rain Man and the Glove. Wednesday, 8 p.m. right here on NBA TV. Set your DVR, because you know I did. Send it back to Brooklyn with Sarah Kustok and Ryan Rucco.
What should be a scintillating season. Kyrie Irving, a dynamic first half, scored 18 points in 17 minutes at 4 assists, 7 of 9 shooting. Kevin Durant's first action in 552 days. Durant with 15 points, all coming in the first half. And an offensive foul here going against Washington. And it's going to be Mo Wagner who's called for the foul here.
We see. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of contact before that, and even I'm not sure I saw as much on Wagner.
Garrett Allen going up, got fouled by Lopez. And this will be a side out of bounds for Brooklyn.
And you mentioned Jacque Vaughn, Mike D'Antoni. Jacque Vaughn will be essentially running the defense. Mike D'Antoni essentially running the offense for Steve Nash. We see this with a lot of first-year head coaches, but just the opportunity for them to have their focuses on each end of the floor. So Steve knows exactly who to go to when and can obviously keep his attention on all things, but we've seen a lot of conversations amongst all of them. And really this goes back to the coaching staff, stacked with a lot of experience, talent, good mix.
And Steve Nash has already joked that he thinks Mike D'Antoni is the favorite of everybody in the coaching room. He's got such a wonderful personality and holding court. You know, I've wondered about this. You see Steve Nash is pulling down the mask just to shout an instruction. If you listen to NBA coaches speak, I already fear for their vocal cords, okay? Long before the new protocols. I mean, NBA coaches, Tom Thibodeau, Doc Rivers, the shining
very
examples.
Sympathetic to vocal cord,
yeah.
Your vocal cord health.
I worry for them all the time. Now with masks, I mean, I think you have to obviously exclaim more to get through the mask. I think they're just going to have to talk less. I don't think they have a choice.
Some players may appreciate it.
I think they're going to be very happy about it.
Not all, but some.
Neto flips that in. I mean, you hear the way Tom Thibodeau's voice is strained during a season as is. What's that going to sound like after 6 games with a mask? Tom's just going to have to talk less.
For sure.
Same thing with Doc. Wagner gets rejected by Allen.
I think we saw a clip the other day of Luke Walton having pulled down his mask.
Shamit hits another 3.
Shot looks good. Stay wide on the wing. Early offense for the Nets. And C.J. McCollum told him, fill it back up. Put your mask on.
When you shoot the zesty burger sauce rapids on this new double cheeseburger papadilla, oh, you're gonna want to capsize in that chunderdome of meat, cheese, and pickles. The new double cheeseburger papadilla and the return of double cheeseburger pizza. Papa John's.
We can't say what comes next. But at Ford, we know one thing for sure. We'll be building. A lot's changed, yes. But doing what's needed is what we've done for over a century. We get through any problems we face with the strength to outlast them. Ford will always pivot to do the right thing. For us, that's building for who and what matter most. Built for America, built Ford proud.
Right now, you can get a free breakfast Baconator with any order in the Wendy's app, so you can shake up and wake up your breakfast. We're bringing that big bacon energy all day long, so you can always be baconating with a free breakfast Baconator.
We need to get going. Where is he with the presents?
It's the same every year. He always leaves it to the last minute. Oh, ho, ho!
About time. Red Bull! And us?
Yes, Santa! What about us?
Oh, you should be happy. From now on, you get Christmas off. Red Bull gives me wings.
Oh, my goodness.
The enjoyment that we had going into each and every arena, talking to their fans and letting them know that we was in charge.
They call him the Glove.
He is crazy!
Turn of Kevin Durant. It had been 18 months, 552 days, and nothing.
In the first half. Now, tonight, we're not just on Yes, we're also on NBA TV. And who's watching? Dwayne Wade. Seeing Steph, KD, and Kyrie back hooping feels right. Also, Brooklyn is about to be a problem. Popcorn emoji.
I love it. If anyone knows, Dwayne Wade knows.
That's your guy from Chicago.
My Chicago guy. Good old days.
Dominant high school players at the same time.
I don't think he wishes we were still back in high school. I wish we were still back in high school.
Well, Dwayne, we want you to know we'll happily take you here on Yes all season long. Please make sure you're tuning in as Shamit leaves it short. Tyler Johnson quickly out of his hands, and he drains the 3.
Once again, the ball movement we're seeing here with not just this group, but throughout the course of this game, making those extra passes. It's going to be so important to continue to have that type of ball movement, finding the open man.
Nice hesitation that time by Neto after Washington had been stymied quite a bit around the rim by Allen in recent possessions. Johnson threw it up wildly off the glass. Neto gets swarmed and swallowed up. He will shoot 2.
And that's a play where when you don't pick up the ball early in transition, and I think Landry Shamet was back at the basket waiting. Jared Allen was coming. Everyone's spaced out because you have shooters on the wings. However, it allowed him to get so deep into the paint and right to the basket. He's able to create something and get himself to the line.
Hey, new for 2021, the incredibly popular Brooklyn Nets Classic Edition collection. Pay homage to Nets history by wearing throwbacks from the 1991 season. Visit netstore.com to get your Classic Edition merchandise now.
Gorgeous.
Sarah's waiting to see whether or not there will be a confirmation that she will have a birthday Classic Edition jersey coming her way next week.
I feel bad now.
Do you?
Well, I put it out there because I was pumping up the jerseys, and now I feel like I'm asking for things, and we're still in the preseason.
Well, the truth is, if I know our producer, Frank DeGrace, it may already have been in the works. As Prince hits the three, who does that? Paul O'Neill, all the time on our app.
I know, that's where I learned it from. We were talking about these players getting accustomed to playing without fans, who I know they sorely miss, we miss.
Wagner hits the three.
How that may change, it's going to be a fluid circumstance, obviously, everyone dealing with it, but and just also how the variation for those who did play in the bubble.
Wagner comes up with a steal and puts it down.
Just the arena and the size as opposed to what it was for in the arenas and in the gyms in the bubble. But how that may help with shooting, if that matters, if it makes a difference. There's a lot of things I'm curious to hear from. It may vary player to player, but from these teams, these guys, as they continue to go in the season, I'm really curious to hear their thoughts on that and how it affects them. And sometimes there's an element, as we know, of energy and atmosphere in a building, but just in terms of play and how, when we saw the really excellent shooting and some of the play in the bubble, the question of how that was affected by the lack of fans, the lack of noise, the more sterile environment, if in some ways that may carry over into this season.
Chris Chiozza checking in for Brooklyn, along with the rookie Perry, who got minutes with the starters in the first half. TLC back in as well. Chiozza wide open in the corner, hits the three. Chris Chiozza was such a pleasant surprise for Brooklyn a season ago. Really influenced winning after ascending to their squad. Neto floats it in.
He played 10 games last year with this Washington team. He came over with the Nets, and you said a need at that position, and he really had a lot of confidence, his ability to organize, his vision on the floor.
We saw it just before the stoppage, and then we saw it in the bubble as well, as that'll go plus the foul, and a chance for three for Brown. As Reggie Perry gets in with the personal. Steve Nash doing a little coaching with Landry Shamet. And Nash said he was curious to see just the sort of machinations of being in the chair, right? And just going through an NBA game as a head coach. How exactly are you orchestrating over there? It's obviously a completely new experience.
And he noted the fact that, he had visions or thoughts of the composure he may have in your intentions. But when you are a competitive person, sometimes you just don't know until you're going through it.
I was talking with Joe Harris about Steve Nash thus far, and Joe was singing Steve's praises, and he said that one of the things that has connected so well is, he said, we have such a smart group. He said that's the thing that stood out most to me about our players. We have a smart group, and Steve is just so smart and so confident in everything he delivers. And matter of fact, said there's not a lot of fluff. It's just so efficient of, hey, this is what we're doing. Not trying to hype you up. Boom, this is what we're going to get done. And we want to be a championship team. So if we want to, this is what we need to do. And that because of that, there's a real respect from both sides. And it makes it easier for you to execute it. Get one thing done and move forward. Wagner gets fouled and will shoot two.
Wagner's been having his way of getting to the basket, as have some of these other Wizards. The matter of stopping ball penetration and getting deep in the paint. It's been something that they've taken advantage of. But you're spot on when it comes to Steve Nash. And I think immediately, in most all cases, it's hard to think of, but when you have not only a player, a former player, but a Hall of Fame player, immediately resonating with players because he has been in your shoes and he has been there. But I also just think being his authentic, genuine self, how he's acting, what he's doing, that is who he is. And he has embodied a lot of things that he tries to teach and he tries to talk about. And you see some of his credentials there, and only a small piece of really the amount of respect that these players have for him.
Avdia, the rookie, massaging his way in beautifully to finish.
I'm excited to continue watching Avdia.
A lot to be excited about with him, and could really make Washington an interesting team in the East this season. You combine Westbrook and Beal with the development of Hachimura and Avdia, and then some of the complementary pieces that this team has with Bryant and then
Davis Bertans,
Troy Brown,
shooter on the floor. Yeah, he's not forcing anything, but you see he's got it.
Kurucs hits his first attempt. First action for Rodions Kurucs tonight. And he connects from 3. Brooklyn now 13 of 26 from downtown at even 50%. Wagner guarded by Kurucs. This time Wagner couldn't finish. Chiozza pushing pace. Kurucs. Nice look inside to Perry, who squeezes it in, plus the foul.
Ooh, nice play. Starts with quick pass by Chiozza, getting it to Kurucs, who could have had the shot, puts it on the floor, gets it to the middle. Perry is ready. And obviously you see Matthews with his hand up there was a miscommunication or a breakdown on the defensive end, but just finding those open spots. And it's nice to see out of this. You could see why there's so many question marks when it comes to rotation, when it comes to personnel. And I think any season, more than any season, this season more than any season, given the challenges that teams may face with COVID and with the pandemic and how you're handling that, the benefits of having a deep roster certainly are so important. But you can see when you start to look at these players, and you mentioned getting their first run and getting their first opportunity to be in the game. Karis LeVert not even being available here tonight. Nicholas Claxton, who we know will be an important part of this team, but he is out with the right knee tendinopathy. Tendinopathy? Is that the correct term?
Well, I think some choose to pronounce it slightly differently, but the term is correct.
What do you say?
Tendinopathy, I believe.
Oh, okay. You know what? You're a true partner that you didn't immediately correct me.
I was still waiting to. Well,
that makes sense.
I was waiting to unload Ansis Pasasneaks, who just checked into the game for Washington out of There you go. See, so we're each 1 for 1.
We're each in preseason form. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Pasasneaks.
Wow.
Latvia. I wonder,
do you speak Latvian or something?
No, but I have been trying to learn different languages throughout the course of the quarantine.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to disclose which ones or how far I've gotten, but
it's password protected. Which languages you've been learning?
But Latvia, you immediately think of Rodions.
Of course. You've been using Duolingo or Rosetta Stone, or is there any app you want to give a shout out to, Sarah?
I'll give you Rosetta Stone. And also the translation apps that you can put on your phone.
Oh.
I don't have the names for them.
Interesting. Pasasneaks finishes on the fall away. Pasasneaks.
I've missed you, Bruce.
Yeah.
I've really missed you.
Oh, Chiozza with the handles, flips it up, and doesn't get the roll. Well, that's going to be 3 free throws for Matthews, as Shamet undercut him, and a chance for Washington to tie things up here.
Shamet, similar to how guys play, you're coming over the top, and you know you don't want to let this guy shoot. On the scouting report, his biggest strength, yet his momentum just takes it into. Good job by Garrison Matthews with the stop and realizing that he had Shamet right in his hip and coming into him.
Matthews, a two-way player, brings shooting range and hustle. Ended up playing in 18 games last season for Washington.
Well, even if you look back throughout his college tenure, I mean, he shot over 41% from three last year, but every season in college, he improved his three-point shooting. And sometimes when you look at some numbers, they don't mean anything, but sometimes when you look at the areas where players are focusing or areas that they have strengthened their game, you see that in his.
Washington takes the lead, their first lead since this was a 2-0 game. The Nets built a 26-point lead in the second quarter. Washington had a big start to the third quarter, came out on a 12-0 run. And they've been able to hang around and whittle away and now take the lead as Brooklyn turns it over. The big stories of this game for Brooklyn: Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. Durant on the floor for the first time in 552 days, scored 15 first-half points. Got some additional minutes at the start of the third quarter, didn't score in those minutes, but 2 blocks, 3 rebounds, 3 assists as well for Durant. As it's going to be Brooklyn ball here. And Irving, who played 17 minutes in the first half, none here in the second, 18 points, 4 assists, 7 of 9 shooting. Chioza was grabbed from behind, and the Nets in the bonus. Free throws coming for Chris Chioza. Hey, tonight, after the game, catch Michael Grady's exclusive sit-down with Steve Nash as he chronicles the journey from his Canadian roots to NBA Hall of Famer to head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. Do not miss Steve Nash one-on-one tonight after the game, only on Yes. If you have not heard that conversation, you want to hear it. It is fantastic.
It was excellent. And our Michael Grady always does an extraordinary job on things, but it was just such a delightful conversation because we learned so much more about Steve Nash as a person and different aspects of his background and of who he is. And I feel like that's always things that you want to know because we watched him throughout the course of our life as a player and all of his talents, but it was really fun.
Chioza in a crowd trying to find help, did in Kurucs. And Kurucs loses it out of bounds off of his leg. Washington ball. 111-111 with 4:04 to go in the fourth.
Nice opportunity for both these teams and these players to work on end-of-game situations. You don't always have chances like this, whether it's the preseason or trying to put things together in scrimmages and work on it in practice.
It won't drop in, out of bounds off of Washington. Brooklyn basketball. You just see the depth that the Nets have. Chioza and Kurucs not getting into these final minutes. Same for Tyler Johnson. TLC, a key piece a season ago, will be looking to scrape his way into the rotation. There's Perry, the rookie, firing from 3 to no avail.
And these guys, I mean, these were the guys we saw in the bubble. These were a lot, I'm short of Reggie Perry. These were the players that we saw getting a bulk of the minutes in the bubble. We still have not seen Bruce Brown. And he's someone who we've watched in his time in Detroit. He had a career high against the Nets, brings athleticism, make a rebound, great on the defensive end.
Another guy who's at the back end of the roster, Jeremiah Martin, who played so well for Brooklyn in the bubble. And, of course, a big piece who we have not seen tonight, Karis LeVert, who has the seat right next to the coaches. You see, it is a socially distant bench with assigned seating so that you are occupying the same chair every time. There's TLC's chair.
Details.
Yeah.
It's all about the details.
Do you think we're going to have the same chair every time too, Sarah, with get it engraved?
Yeah. Don't you have tape? Don't you have tape?
Yeah.
You just have tape now. I'm not sure about the engraving.
Okay, that's fair. Johnson hustling back into the play, deflected it, and it's going to be Brooklyn ball.
I just want to make sure Richard never sits in my seat.
I don't think he's allowed to anymore because of COVID protocol, so.
I hope not. Maybe you'll share yours with Ian.
Yeah. TLC swooping in and is fouled He will shoot 2 as Matthews is called for the personal. We'll step aside. 2:56 to go in the preseason opener. Nets trailing by 1.
I work every day, making it from a wall where they are 2, 4, 5
Share the joy this holiday with the Whopper and the 2 for $5 deal. Your way better.
It's been a tough year, and now with Q4 wrapping up, the North Pole has to be feeling the heat.
It's okay, Santa. Let's workflow it.
Workflow it?
With the Now platform, we can catch problems before customers even know they're problems.
Wait, a hose? What kid wants a hose?
Fireman? Says hose.
It says horse, not a hose. Cedric, get over here.
Now our people can collaborate across silos from across the globe.
So how's the new place? It's a 4-bed, 2.5 bath igloo. Great.
Yeah, but you have to live in the South Pole.
Sir.
Wait, are you sure?
Yes, we're that productive now.
You hear that? The kids get twice the presents.
About time 2020 gave us some good news.
Whatever your business is facing, let's workflow it. ServiceNow, official workflow partner of the NBA.
After 225 years of Jim Beam, you'd think we'd just look back on our past. Nope. We're looking to our future. Where we're crafting new bourbons, creating new ways to drink them, and teaching a new generation of distillers. So no, we're not raising a glass to the last 225 years. We're raising Jim Beam for 225 years to come.
Knicks, Pistons, Obi Toppin, getting it poppin'. The #1 overall pick doing things early. Give it to him, and he knows exactly what to do with it. That is a 3, 11 early on. And the fun guy on the left coast, Lakers and Clippers going at it again. You can catch that game later on ESPN. No LeBron, no Anthony Davis in this one, but Kawhi is expected to play along with Paul George, 8:30 p.m. on ESPN. Now we'll go back to Brooklyn, where it is all of a sudden a game, no Kyrie, no KD, but the Wizards are back in this thing after being down by as many as 26. Let's go back to Brooklyn.
TLC hits the free throw. How about the Nets are shooting their 40th and 41st free throws of the night?
Yeah, it hasn't been super clean. Seen some fouling.
Yeah.
Which you would expect. However, that's a part of it.
Some preseason moments for all of us, I would say, Sarah.
All of us. I'm putting myself at the front of the line.
And I'm cutting right in front of you.
Grady's been perfect, per the usual.
That's just what he knows. Chiozza comes up with a steal. Chiozza can't get it to drop, but has another chance. Nice touch pass. Chiozza to Kurucs for the finish. Nets back up by 3. 2:24 to go in this fourth. A lot of the bubble all-stars for Brooklyn on the floor right now. That's going to be a travel called against Childs.
Well, Chris Chiozza has been getting after it on the defensive end, and that's just a heads-up play because he realizes his matchup is out of the picture and has moved to the wing. Just picks the pocket and this group together. You mentioned the bubble all-stars for this Nets group, but they have had a sense of continuity here in stretches.
You saw Chiozza, Tyler Johnson, Kurucs, TLC all play well in the bubble for Brooklyn when they surprised everyone in the seeding games. Ended up the 7 seed. Childs missed it once, twice. The leaner won't go. TLC the rebound. And Brooklyn controls with 1:45 to go, up 3. Kurucs a deep 3. No. That jumper drops in for Winston. Cassius Winston, who Scott Brooks very high on. 53rd pick of this year's draft for Washington.
6th at Michigan State, all-time in scoring. 1st Big Ten, all-time in assists.
Perry amongst the trees gets fouled and is going to shoot a pair. So it'll be free throws number 42 and 43 for Brooklyn. Well, Reggie Perry, 6'8", 250, 20 years old. Acquired from the Clippers, 57th overall pick. You know, he was 6'10", and they measured him without shoes, and he dropped to 6'8".
Well, he wasn't actually 6'10".
Yeah.
And then left.
That's a good point.
He just
Yeah.
took his shoes off.
It's just with, yeah, you're right. Factually, that's actually how it goes down, yeah. That's,
we talk about guy like he lost an inch. He did that. He's like, well, no, that's a bummer though. I would feel that way. I used to be listed as like 5'11", 6 foot.
This three is short. The follow won't go. Loose ball. Johnson has it with Brooklyn up 1. 38 seconds to go. This would have been a 2-for-1 opportunity for the Nets if they wanted it. Chiozza takes and hits a bomb 3 from Chiozza. A 4-point Brooklyn lead as Chiozza may have just sealed things for the Nets in this preseason opener. That won't drop. Perry the rebound. Now Washington is going to pressure some. Will they foul? And Brooklyn will take a timeout with 9.2 seconds remaining. The Nets a 118-114 lead in Kevin Durant's unofficial Nets debut. And Chris Chiozza, some big winning plays down the stretch.
And what a way to execute. Not only just executing this 2-for-1, but good work with Perry, creating those angles for the screen, getting off the shot, knocking down a big shot. I mean, gets Winston really to get to the right and try and think that he may drive, and it gives him enough room to get off the space. Just see what's the reaction. Yeah. And that, Rooks, again, do these wins, do the wins and losses count in the preseason? No, but I think there's small details and small things. Add a little excitement, add some momentum. We talked about Kevin Durant's debut and Kyrie being back and this whole group, but to be able to potentially close this off with a win, Chiozza having what he had done throughout the course of the bubble and just prior, it's a feel-good addition to a team that's already feeling pretty good about the place they're at this point.
Kevin Durant talking things over with DeAndre Jordan, his close friend. We said everybody on this team is gravitated towards. You just kind of end up heading towards the voice of DeAndre, which is perhaps the loudest in that locker room.
He knows how to keep things light, but you also know that he goes to work. And just that, I mean, that goes back to the veteran experience of understanding when to be businesslike, when to be serious, and then also when to try and loosen up your teammates.
Chiozza speeds away from getting fouled and now is with 5.5 seconds to go.
And I don't know. I know Chris Chiozza and Spencer Dinwiddie, of course, close and friends. I don't know if Chiozza, similar to Dinwiddie, carries that same type of. Is it like a revenge factor against a former team? And I don't know if Chiozza has any of these feelings in these moments. But for him,
I think most guys have some of that, right?
How much it weighs on you, how much it adds to the chip on your shoulder.
Irving and Durant looked excellent in the first half of this game as Chiozza hits the second free throw. 3 seconds left. That heave won't go, and that will do it. The Nets win their preseason opener, 119-114 the final in Steve Nash and Kevin Durant's unofficial Nets debut.
Over 100 yards and opened up the rushing.
Durant and Irving combined for 33 first-half points. Spencer Dinwiddie had 10 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds.
And there it is right there, the unofficial debut for the Brooklyn Nets for KD and Kyrie Irving. They get a victory. Steve Nash with a victory as well, and his head coaching debut unofficial.